Hey friends, welcome back to the bunker. But I'm actually thinking that I'm going to run an experiment today. I am going to take a 28-inch chain, or a chain for a 28-inch bar on my 372, and I'm going to turn it into a square cut chain. I've never run square cut chains before. I know there's a lot of people who actually really like them. So I'm going to kind of experiment. I'm going to grind it into a square cut. I might touch it up with a hand file. But then I'm going to go out and see how it runs. It's going to be a new experience for me. I've never done anything like that before. I've always used standard chisel chain, 30-degree angle, all of that. So, since my last video, I've actually been working on some axes as well. So, I've never done that before either, but it looked like it would be kind of fun, and I like restoring wood, so that's what I decided to do. So far, I've done 4 of them. This was the first one that I did. I actually was able to use the original handle. That's why it's got a little bit of damage there. But it was pretty busted up. It was not looking good at all. Very weathered, very not cool. So I dismounted the handle and did a whole lot of work on it just to clean it up, get it real nice, And then I decided that before I rehung it, I would burn it. So I burned it, threw some light walnut Watco on it. Just some regular Watco light walnut finish. Excellent stuff, by the way. Altogether, I put 3 coats of that finish on here, that stain. And then I hung it. So, I made my own. I made it out of some red oak 1x material that we had left over from a job many years ago. It's very dry, good and solid. I just made my own wedge and pounded it in there. Because this was broke, I actually filled up the gaps with epoxy. So it's not going anywhere. This is a pretty decent axe too. I sharpened up the edges, and when I tried it, it actually splits wood pretty good. So I was real happy with it. The next one I did is the axe I use for pounding wedges. Okay, I'll try to put a picture of that up on the screen here before I refinished it so you can actually see what it looked like. But I didn't dismount this head. I just cleaned the body up, and again, I burned it and applied the same finish to it. Turned out looking fucking killer, man. That is killer. This is the axe that I've always used to pound wedges with. I mean, it's been with me, 12 years, I think, is when I bought this. It's a Husqvarna axe. I literally keep it razor sharp. I mean, I can shave with this thing. So, I found this back in the back end here. The handle was all busted off. The head was in horrible shape. This is a boy's axe head. And I happened to find a boy's axe handle, 28-inch, down here at the local hardware store, which was amazing, by the way. Took a while to fit the head on. I've got nice curl all the way around. Just looks beautiful on the fit. And I mean, it's a nice axe. I cleaned the head up, sharpened it, not super well. And I might try using that for pounding wedges. It's not a super heavy head. It's probably 2.5 pound head. Not bad at all. And with that 28-inch handle, be plenty of leverage for pounding wedges in. But same thing, because I love the look so much. Burn the handle. Couple of coats of that Watco finish. Oh yeah! Arr, 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 arr. Going, I've got a couple more double bits I can work on. I've got a splitting maul that I let someone borrow. Big mistake, don't ever do that. And they annihilated the leading edge of it. So I got to cut that down and then reshape it. It's going to be a mess. But it'll be all right once I'm done. Anyway, I'm going to start with my experiment here. First step, I got to grind that chain down. But it's just a standard chisel chain. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. Standard chisel chain, 3/8. And I'm going to turn that into a square cut chain and see how it works out. Like I said, I've never run a square cut before. So I'm kind of interested in experimenting and seeing what happens when I do run a square cut. So let's get set up, shall we?
I use a mobile workbench here. You can pick up at any Home Depot. I don't have my sharpener wall mounted yet. So, I use what I've got. I'm gonna move you here. Pretty fast and easy setup.
And I have my sharpener on a 2x6. And just make sure it's in the middle. Quick squeeze to lock it in. It's not going anywhere. I initially set this up for a mobile work site so I can load the whole shoot and match in a trailer and go out on a job. I can stay there for days. I don't have to worry about sharpening my chain. I've got a small Honda generator I can throw on the front of the trailer to run this. No worries. And I can run my air compressor with it too to clean my saws. See if we can make this happen, huh? All right, so this is just a standard bench grinder setup. With this kind of a setup here, almost everything on here is pretty well adjustable, okay? So you throw your chain in. And it sits just like so, right? Right in this little track. There's no moving parts to it. It's a couple of bars that are put together on its own. In order to lock it in place, you just move this handle here. Now, because I'm running square cut, normally I run a 30-degree angle here, okay? But because I am experimenting with the idea of square cutting, I'm gonna move this to a 5-degree angle, okay? Technically, square cut is anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees. I'm actually 0 to 15 degrees, but I'm not gonna go all the way to 0. So I'm gonna move this thing to 5 degrees and see what I can get to happen here for me.
Now I'm taking off a lot of tooth. And you don't want to hit these teeth too hard. Because if you do, you're gonna have trouble. It will take the temper off your tooth. just looks unnatural to me.
I'm used to a tooth that looks like that. Nice and angled. See if I can get it. Yeah. Angled real nice. Everything else. This is how the square cut looks. Weird, isn't it? Right in here is the gullet. I'm gonna have to clean that up with a hand file. Nice little C in there. All right. Now I'm gonna finish this up, and no need for you to waste your time watching this part. Okay, so I've got my square ground chain on. Now it's time for the test. I've got a log that came out of my yard here. It's not much, but it should give me an idea of the chips and how fast this chain cuts now that it's square ground. So let's try it out. Honestly, I don't like it. Good thing there wasn't much left of that chain. That was a chisel chain. Same bar, just a chisel chain, 30-degree angle. That is the chips from a square cut. For the cutting that I do, just the cutting I do, in the kind of timber that I run, I'd say the chisel chain is still the way to go. But it was worth trying. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue to run chisel chain. That does it for the experiment. Thanks for watching. As always, show kindness and respect. And enjoy yourselves. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, you'll be making wood chips. Remember, sawdust is man glitter.